this episode, I sit down with a friend and we share our journeys in the aquatics and recreation world. From part-time jobs in Phoenix to career paths we're building today. We talk about what it's really like to work in rec centers, how teamwork and trust shape our day-to-day, and how humor, mentorship, and new ideas like podcasting keep us growing on and off the deck. This is a Friend Podcast, and this is Javier. All right, brother.
What's going on, sir? How you doing? Nice seeing you.
You too.
Absolutely. But no, we're in Roosevelt Row. I don't go out too often, but when I do, this is mainly where my wife brings me. It's a Roosevelt Row. So.
I was gonna say, the only time I see you out is in a picture that you shared that your wife posted. That's all my married friends. All my married friends do that.
Yes.
That's how they get away with posting.
And so when I was younger, I posted all the time, but I slowly, stopped doing that. Just out of just getting older. But I definitely got to repost with the wifey. Shout out to my wife.
Yeah. I see all my friends do it too. It's like you see the picture that they posted. It's like their stories reposted. So it's like
right. And I like posting like abstract stuff. If you know kind of stuff. You see where I'm at, maybe.
That's always kind of been how you were, though, how I met you, too. So we'll get right into it.
All right.
Javier Habre.
Yes.
I'm not going in order of friendship by any means.
Sure.
As availability hits,
sure.
I jump at it because I have a lot of these I want to do. But yeah, so.
Sure.
So Javier Habre, I was on the way over. I was trying to pinpoint the day we met.
I don't know if we can do that.
I don't know if I can. It's hard. I'm gonna try though, because that's my goal with this whole thing, anyways. But
right. But how do we know each other?
Well, we know each other through the city of Phoenix.
Right.
So,
Definitely.
Both of our jobs.
We're co-workers.
Co-workers in the sense of like we've worked together, but we've never worked for the same.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of strange. Yeah, where we work together but not have the same supervisor or anything of that kind of thing.
I'm trying to think. I know Phoenix Sports is for sure one of them, but I don't remember did you do PAC?
Did do PAC. We were probably in the app school program.
I did PAC 1 year.
And we were there at the same time, so I guess.
I did PAC with Katrina at Manuel Pena Elementary.
Oh, okay, all right.
Katrina Dominguez, I think her
That's
name
way
is.
on the west side.
Way over there by Desert Sky Mall.
Right.
So I did it there for 1 year, and I enjoyed it. She was the leader, I was an instructor, and we had an aide named Hiram. Do you remember Hiram?
Oh yeah, he was the pool cleaner, the little guy,
Yeah. So we had him, and it was cool. When this year was ending, they had asked me to come back and be a leader the next year, run my own site.
You're like, oh, no.
Like no. And then I became an assistant manager and did Phoenix Sports, and that's where we really worked together. I saw you at meetings.
Right.
For PAC, but that was like the extent of it.
So, but what were you doing? How'd you get it? Obviously, you started in aquatics, but off seasons, what were you doing?
For the longest time, I would get jobs and quit in like March when the aquatics was about to start again. So for years, I did that over and over and over. And then I did the PAC job because I didn't want to go get another job.
Right.
And PAC was an easy transition from what I was doing in the summer times. So they had like a deal where they would just let us kind of just transfer.
Right, because they needed bodies, obviously.
So I did that that 1 year. I think we had a conference here. I volunteered at the conference. I did like the room host.
After school program, conference, whatever.
Yeah, I got a nice little polo for it, that PAC polo.
Yeah.
But PAC was never the goal or the journey or anything. It was just kind of a stop along the way.
For sure.
Aquatics has always been the passion. I didn't know I would end up where I'm at now.
For aquatics, sure. Like when you posted your dream job, it was like, yeah, damn right, that is your dream job.
I remember because people that know. Like you said, I had talked about it forever. People are like, hey, where do you see yourself in 10, 15 years? Yeah. I would always, coordinator job or aquatic coordinator, not thinking it was legit a position that I'd be able to get that soon.
But yeah, it's basically like you mentioned, I seen you at meetings, kind of knew who you were, I probably know your name, but didn't really know you until we actually worked together with Phoenix Sports, for sure, yeah.
Rose Moffer, Desert West, Papago.
Yep. Even a little bit at
baseball.
Reach 11 and baseball.
Oh, Reach 11 and baseball. We did Phoenix Muni, or not Phoenix Muni, the It was the Papago baseball before
Yeah.
who took it? The Giants?
I think the Giants took it
Giants
over.
have it now, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like kind of where I didn't really know you, but
Yeah.
they kind of just put us together.
Right. They put us together. We were two people that weren't supposed to be together, working
We didn't
together,
know
because we weren't
nothing.
even part of Phoenix sports year round. But with just because they needed bodies, we were together, and we shouldn't have been. But ultimately,
That's one thing I liked about Robert Esfan is that right away, like he just kind of let me do my thing. Like,
sure, yeah,
and
definitely.
I get all of us really, but like
Well, it was basically you showed that you can handle your own. All right, here you go.
here you go. He
You're
let
good to
you,
go.
and he would schedule like that.
Yeah, and you were just as valuable as the person that he worked with year round.
Which is talking about the schedule on that real quick. Do you remember when we would get the schedules?
When what?
When we would get the schedule for the weekend?
No, I would not. I don't remember that.
We'd get it like 2 days before we were supposed to work that weekend. We'd
Oh,
get it like
yeah,
on
yeah.
Thursday
Right.
for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday schedule.
So it's basically I'm gonna work. I just don't know
I
when.
just don't know when, yeah.
And where.
And I worked for PAC at the time, and they didn't like doing the hours that way, like sports did them, where I would
right.
just put 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever I work, it's just I put 8 hours.
Yeah, because you're gonna be there for 8
And
hours.
PAC didn't like that, and I was going over 32 or whatever the.
What did you
minimum
like?
was.
What did you like about that job, as far as softball leagues and all that, and what didn't you like about it?
I think I don't know if it's the same for you because we kind of just got thrown into that. Softball was never my forte by
Right.
any means. I played baseball my whole life, club baseball,
Sure.
so I figured it would be
Similar.
in terms of like the. I went to a small high school. We didn't have a maintenance crew that took care of our field, so like I
Right.
had to do it.
Right.
Like, we took care of our own field. We raked our bases and we did all. You know what I mean? Everything.
Right.
So I thought my knowledge from that would translate over super well until I
Right.
did my first foul line.
Yes, the infamous chalked foul lines. Yeah, for sure.
I hated it when it was my turn. We would try to. Our goal was to be the person that drug, right?
Yeah,
That was always the goal, to be on the gator and drag the field, so you
Right.
didn't have to do the new lines,
especially when you first started out. You
100%.
didn't know for sure, but
picking out the bases, like doing
after a
all
while,
that.
you're supposed to just do it.
And that's what it turned into. I think for
Right.
you and I, in terms of the people that didn't work with them, fit right in where we didn't kind of skip a beat.
Because even them, they would be like, "Oh, I can be over here doing my other thing while you're doing yours," and I thought that was cool. I appreciated that responsibility and that job because one, you're pretty much maintenance, and I had
Yeah.
never worked maintenance
Yeah.
in that way. So every week you're doing
rec
maintenance.
staff,
You're rec
technically,
staff,
but
but
you're doing maintenance.
your hands in the dirt, your hands pulling bases, probably even fixing bases and plugs and sprinklers and all that stuff.
I think the thing I hate the most is being micromanaged, and that never happened. Even by the veteran staff that have been doing it for
Right,
20 plus years.
For
You know what I
sure,
mean?
sure.
I think they were just happy to have the help.
Right, and they're just like willing to you're gonna be here forever. Yeah, let's do it because a lot of those folks were there forever.
Yeah. They had a lot of turnover too, so it's cool. Darren still works there.
Well, that's turnover is never gonna happen. He's a croak doing
Darren
that.
still works there, and
I think Scott took over once, like when we were done. I don't think I worked for Scott probably once or twice.
I never worked
Williams?
for him yet. No, I was already done by then. Scott Williams became the coordinator over
Well,
that.
you became a coordinator before me, so we'll get into that too.
We're gonna definitely get into that. For
But
sure.
during that time, that was like the times where we were both talking about like our next steps and like what we want to
Right,
do.
we were
and,
both
like,
kind of on the same path at the
100%,
same time.
the same path, but a different path. But it was
Sure.
the same path at the end of the day is finding that we wanted to be at full time with the city of Phoenix.
Sure, but here's the thing about that. I might digress a little bit from it. What do you think? Because today's a new day and age. You know what I mean? When you're just getting on with the city, it's kind of a goal. It's what you needed to do. It's what you spent your life trying to get to. But it made somebody that took 2 years to do it took us over 10. So
Well, it's different now. It's a lot
yeah.
easier to get in now than it was then too.
There is a lot of that.
People didn't leave when we were there.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
One position would open and 60 people would be going for that one spot. You know what I mean?
It was
So,
a lot of, and it was good workers. It was people that should have.
There were people that have
just
progressed
like us.
to
Yeah.
move on, but there was nowhere for them to go,
Yeah, 'cause-
and they stayed. And that's
Right.
what I think. Even us, like we had in our path we were trying to go. I think we waited too long. Like we ended up where we ended up, and it all worked out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But me personally, I feel like I waited too long.
Me too.
I started in 2016, 2015.
Sure.
Applying for full-time jobs, and I didn't get it until 2023.
Bro, I was a intern in 2006.
That was my first year too.
Right. But I didn't probably get serious until probably 2014, 2015. And so and I didn't get a position until 2020, maybe.
Did you become an intern because of your pops?
Well, it was just a summer job. It was a summer
Where at?
intern. So I interned at South Mountain Community Center, but it was also an offshoot. I was also doing the summer program at
the camp.
Chavez Elementary School. Yeah, summer program, like a summer camp at both places. I was at Chavez Elementary.
You were volunteering?
It was a paid volunteership. It was called SWEP intern. So it was a summer work experience. What's the P? What would the P mean? I don't know. Whatever it is.
Person.
Yes.
Program.
Program.
Maybe.
Yeah. What am I doing? Yeah. So I was started that way, and I was at South Mountain and that elementary school. And the funny thing is, my brother was working there part time at South Mountain at the same time. He was an instructor, but he had already been working for the city for a while. Basically, your dad worked for the city for a long time, and so did my dad, and so I was kind of like the natural thing. Summer program, I get paid to do it. I was already doing it already, being at parks my whole life. It was just a natural.
I think the difference is kind of like where you grew up. Like you grew up in that area,
yeah.
So it was easy for you to just jump into that.
Yeah,
my summers were
in Mexico.
Sometimes, we dip out to Mexico, go to Rocky Point. Or when I was here, we do remember the vacation Bible school things at night times. We do those in the evenings in the summertime. But the pool, I'd go to the pool. It was 50 cents, 25 cents a day to go swimming at the pool. And my mom and dad didn't have to watch me. They had to do nothing. We would all just go. And I did swim team, all that. I did everything.
Was
so
this
I was
at Maryview? Or was this
Starlight.
At Starlight.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Oh, fuck Maryview. Excuse me.
No, for real.
That was your rival, brother.
No, Starlight is where I was at. So I grew up right around the corner from Starlight. So I would walk to the pool.
Sure.
Sometimes my parents wouldn't let me go all day, so I'd be stuck all day until back in the day, the last 2 hours the pool was open, it was half price.
Right.
And they went from 50 cents to 25 cents. So I'd take the same bag of 25 pennies to the cashier, and she was like, I'm not taking those pennies, and then she would just let me in.
I could only imagine young Daniel.
Menace.
Pale as can be at a pool. How did you manage that?
I was a menace, right? I got myself in trouble all the time. But that's the way I was able to go. I was good. I had to be good and not get in trouble throughout the day to be able to go for those last couple hours.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I enjoyed it. I'm not saying that my passion started when I was going to the pool in the summertime, but I enjoyed going to the pool and being at the pool. My sister got a job in 2005. I got a job the next summer in 2006. But I did the junior lifeguard and volunteering.
You did the whole
I did all that. Yeah. So I came up through it, and once I became a lifeguard, I was like, oh, this is easy.
Sure.
This is easy money. And then I became an instructor. I started teaching lessons. I did coaching and things like that. So even then, I didn't think I'd be here, but I knew I wanted to work for the city of Phoenix. So my dad worked for it, and I knew the insurance and the
right.
retirement and everything.
And back then, you see the insurance and what they're gonna get paid when they retire, and it was awesome. It was hunky dory. This is the goal. This is the goal to be. Mm-hmm. But by the time we got here,
everything's so different.
It's not. It's not as as sought out for.
My dad's like, hey, how much money are you putting into your deferred? I was like, nothing. I was like, how? I was like, you have a 5% that you're putting. I have 11. I'm already putting double.
Right.
My percentage than what you're putting. That's why I
more
can't
than double.
Yeah, I was saying I can't put more. I was like, well, wait till I'm up here and a little more steps, and I'll start putting some more in there.
Right.
But that automatic 11 is ass.
And we're probably not gonna get retirement till we're 60, 65.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna be able to retire. I just the softball connection that we have, Joey Jewell.
Sure. Yeah.
He just got full time, so now he oversees. He's Chris Parks.
Yeah, I was about to say he's not just full time. He's the man.
He's Chris Parks. He's Chris Parks' job. So there's the sports supervisor. There's the maintenance supervisor. There's the aquatic supervisor.
She would pop in. She would literally pop in and 100%. Check on what's going on and that.
Especially when we were at the baseball complex, because I think she had a son that played baseball out there.
All right.
But Joey has that position now, and we
Yeah.
joke about
Hell
it
yeah.
that in the next 5-10 years, everyone else is going to be replaced in that office, and we're going to be there for the next 30 because we just got our full-time jobs.
Exactly, and that's another person that took a while to get on. You know,
yeah.
Even like he should have happened a long time ago.
Well, when we met him, he was 20 years in part-time. Yeah. That's crazy. That's wild. Well, another thing that changed, too, was part-time years used to count for something to full-time when you got a full-time job.
Right, that's
they counted as like half years or
that
something
happened
like
for my
that.
dad, too.
Nope, not me. My 17 years part-time didn't mean shit.
But that note was like people stayed on. It took Robert to get his promotion just for Joey to kind of have that lane, and he kind of followed suit every step. It just kind of that's kind of
Robert retiring.
Yeah, right. But he followed it when he became his 2. Robert became a 3, and Robert became supervisor.
I remember when Robert first went out to reach, we would be out there, and then Joey would be out there too. But one thing about like Joey and being out there too is like he knew how hard all of us worked when we were out there. Like we were better than their staff sometimes in terms of
not sometimes, most of the time.
I was trying to be nice. Okay.
Well, are they there?
Some people are still there.
I'm just
Some
kidding.
people are still there. That's what's crazy. But they're there because they could get away with doing the bare minimum.
Right.
And
right.
Continue, no one else wants to go out there and do that work. You know what I mean? So.
Well, that's the thing about it.
It's the Lord's work.
Yeah, hey man, it's salt of the earth right there. and then it's just still crazy that Darren's still doing it.
Still going. So, we talked a little bit of how you met.
I think it was just working together, but I think what made me want to, like, I've worked with people, but there's people that I don't talk to.
Sure.
That I see all the time, that even where I work, I'll associate at work.
You mentioned on the other podcast, because I'm an avid listener, that you don't like people.
Correct. Look at my phone. Oh, it's on my other case. I have a sticker that says, ew, people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but not everyone knows that about me.
But I wouldn't have known that.
See, that's what I'm saying. Not everyone knows that. It's because I'm able. Me and my dad are the same in the sense where we just don't like people. I don't like being around crowds, but he can't fake it like I can. Like I can,
Right.
and not necessarily saying that I fake it all the time, but there's definitely some interactions that I've had where it's like that was so fake of an interaction, but I know I needed to have it so that I can get. I know I got to work with them for the next 5 months. I need to count on them. I don't want them to be like, oh, this dude fucking hates me.
Right,
and come to work with them and they don't do nothing and I get stuck doing everything. So I had to like fake it in that sense.
That's the funny part. People always think I'm against them until like they actually start talking to me, and I'm like, I'm everybody's friend. Like I could get along with anybody, but just maybe how I come off initially, it looks like I'm standoffish. I look more like
I saw you with your Prada glasses.
And
well, that's basically.
I was like, who is this fool? This fool took sunglasses to his eye doctor and said, "Put these lenses in here, please."
Oh yeah, that's what these are right now. I still do it.
You still do it.
Yeah.
So,
but that's one thing. That's one thing I noticed is like there's the style that you have and like things like that. So I was like appreciative where it was like this. It's your own. Like I don't. You see other people that like dress similar things, but like for you, it's consistently like it's evolved over the years. Obviously,
for sure. As I got older,
as
and
you
more
get older,
but
you had your own style about you, like your own demeanor, and I was like, this was cool.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying. The other thing is trying to be somebody that I'm not. I try to be anyway. And that's what I thought about you. Is like,
you're like, who the fuck's this crazy white boy?
Well, here's the thing.
Why does he speak Spanish?
Yeah, yeah, that always trips me out at the end of the day. But when you post family pictures, I'm like, oh, this guy really is more Mexican than me. At the end of the day.
My last name is Peters, and your last name is Habre.
Yeah.
So.
Well, then as soon as you, I was like, oh man, your mom looks just like the quintessential like Mexican lady.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm like, wow, that's cool, dude.
It's her fault. I got short ass legs too.
But you can run fast.
I'm not fast though.
Fast for a white guy or a big guy.
Quick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
right.
But yeah, when we first met, when I first saw you like consistently at work, it was just more. It was kind of instant. Like it was like not knowing each other to immediately just like let's talk about everything about it.
The shifts were like 10-hour shifts, and we'd work in like spurts. So we go out and work for like 20 minutes, and then go sit down for
right. And then also
so, like, a lot of time.
We're working 8 hours together straight.
At least.
And then like there's only so much regular conversations you can have until like what's your favorite? Now we're dating. What's your favorite color? Do you like this band? Do you like this, artist?
I see on my, because I think Snapchat was at the time like just coming out or something.
Oh, sure.
So like, I see like memories of things when we were out there, like just like crazy.
I only have
shit
a couple of those. I never did it. You probably did it more than I did.
I did more than you,
dude.
There was one I saw was like, you like posted the picture of like, everyone look, ladies. Take a look, and it was like me with like a styrofoam cup, and I had like a hole in it, and it was like...
That made my post. And on Instagram, you couldn't just put it on your story. Back then, you had to post it on your wall or whatever it was.
And I think it was the way I was texting, too.
Right.
Because I text, when I get into town, I'll start using like these fingers up here. And you like were tripped out by the way I was doing it. You like took a picture of a video.
Yeah.
See, so I made it in some posts. So...
Yeah,
but I feel like the people who know that we're friends, like there's not, I don't know, we don't have a lot of mutual friends.
No, we don't, not at all.
Which is weird.
Especially like in our business that we want to call it. Nobody knows, I think, because I mentioned it, that my supervisor knows probably, but other than that, there's no nexus in really, other than they don't know that.
I think it would be like Joey, Robert.
Sure.
Remember Shane?
Shane, I love Shane. Shane was my pack brother for a long time.
He fell off the face. Oh, you worked with your pack?
Yeah.
Oh, so you both came to sports together?
Yeah, him and I were both trying to get hours.
Who else? Just you two?
I
mean, there were more, but I don't remember who.
You just have to like name them. I'm bad with names, so I.
Shane was the boy, bro. He was cool. I remember.
Oh, for sure. He would get all fucking smoked out and come to work and just be laughing the whole time.
He was cool until unless he smoked too much. Because then he was useless. He had to, hey, what kind of night you have? Because he had another job. He had dealing with his baby mama and stuff like that. I think he's actually back with his initial baby mama.
Well, good for him, I guess.
Good for him, yes. But kind of fell off. I haven't seen him on anything in a while.
Yeah, because he used to post like
all the time,
abstractly on Snapchat. I'm not on Snapchat like that.
Last I saw, he had like a driving job, and he was like driving.
No shit.
So I don't remember.
It was I think he looks like a truck driver.
I think it was like a medical. Company.
Okay, nice.
Where you like drive around, pick up people in wheelchairs, and take them to their
appointment.
Just
because you mentioned Shane, I can't. I'd be remiss to not mention Francis.
That was my next name. Bro. I keep seeing him on my people you may know on Facebook.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm not gonna
send him. I want to know what his life, his world views are.
He's sitting there in a tuxedo. Like what? I know you. What are you doing in a tuxedo?
So you talk about what comes to mind when we work together, right? That's one of the questions I think, right?
Rasungwa or something like that.
What?
Rasungwa.
Is that his last name? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know why I know that. I didn't know he had a last name. I thought his name was just Francis, just Francois only. So I remember, I think it was either the night before we worked together, and he had wrote this big old long letter on the whiteboard. Do you remember this? So he wrote this big long letter. Hey, there's something to do with the pipes are broken, and like we're also not doing our job cleaning the restrooms, whatever it is. It was just
he was like writing it to the morning crew.
Yeah, it was just a long. Yeah, but it was 3 days. It would have to be on the. It would have to have been on the board for 3 days, and so I had to look at it for 2 days for 16 hours. So eventually, what did I do? I read it. So Francis, respectfully, is a Congolese immigrant from the Congo.
Refugee.
Right?
A refugee.
Excuse me, respectfully. But so he had a definitely an interesting accent. And I'm not
it was strong. It was
strong accent.
Yeah.
Strong Congolese accent. So again, I was maybe 25 at the time. I don't know, right? It was a different time. Let's just preface it as that, right? So he leaves this long paragraph on the whiteboard for the maintenance staff for Monday. So Saturday and Sunday, I get to read this all day. I've seen it, and so what I did. What did I do? You
erase it?
No, I don't have it anymore. I don't have the actual audio of what it was.
Oh, somebody read it.
I didn't erase this. Remember,
somebody read it. Was it me or you?
No, it was me. I read it in his accent, and then I recorded it.
And then erased it.
No, I didn't even erase it.
Somebody erased it after.
Oh, yeah, that's fucked up. I didn't erase it. I think the night crew did. And I remember that now. I read it in his accent, and then recorded it obviously, and then what did I do? I slowed it down, or I put some type of filter on it, and then I sent it out to like the team.
Little group chat.
The group chat, and I thought everybody thought it was the funniest thing, or at least I thought it was the funniest thing. Even he thought it was funny.
He thought it was funny. He laughed.
Let me put that out there.
He
Thought it was
laughed
funny.
at it 100%.
I was not trying to make fun of him, and
Well, I mean, we probably were a little bit, but the fact that he laughed made it. So I was like, all right, he got the joke, because it could have been like, what the fuck, guys?
Right, I could have went to HR respectfully. Again, I keep saying, Javier respects.
Got to. No, but
yeah.
it was good. It was in good fun.
And I'm only saying that because he was there right next to me doing it, Mr. Daniel Peters. So again, on the record, he was there.
There's no
with me.
video for everyone to see. So yes,
Right. That's why
Francis was there when he recorded it.
That might be the story that I remember just vividly with you working hot Desert West, or might have been Desert West, probably. And it was just, I thought it was the funniest thing. You'd have to be there. Is basically what it was.
For sure. I mean, I enjoyed working with, I think, everybody on that team. There was probably a couple people where it was like, but it was never just two. It was always like three at least.
Right. And if it was two, it was a bad day for.
It was a bad day.
It was a bad day for Mr. Robert Esteban.
For scheduling purposes.
Yeah.
But normally we had 3 and we were able to get it done, and we didn't overly have a lot going on. We were able to kind of stay up for it.
Another thing I remember about that job, you had to be up at the crack of dawn. So the girls show up for flash pitch softball at 7 a.m. You got to be there at 6 to line the fields and.
Yeah, they're showing up at 7 ready to practice.
Right.
For their game that starts at 9.
Yes. Yeah.
So we had to get there at 6.
Yeah.
To prep the field, because we can't prep it while they're practicing and getting ready before the 9 o'clock game. We had to have 4, sometimes 6 fields fully prepped
For
in
sure.
an hour.
Yes. And then you got to think about, the night before. What'd you do the night before? Were you out? Were you not out? Were you drunk? Were you not drunk?
The age that I was in,
Definitely.
I was for sure out.
Dude, one time I showed up at like 4 a.m. and just slept. I didn't go to sleep. I just showed up. Should I say this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I showed up from a night out, and I hadn't a change of clothes. I knew it. I knew it was happening. Showed up with a change of clothes. I was out all night with my homie Mike Alvarez. Shout out Mike Alvarez. And all his cousins, and we were in Levine everywhere, whatever. And I had to show up at Desert West.
Nothing good happens in Levine.
Nothing happened. So I was out with his cousins, and I was like, I knew this was gonna happen. So all I did was just make sure I was able to just get to Desert West. I'll go to sleep there, and I wake up when the next person shows up, and then we're good to go. Let's start dragging fields. Let's start lining fields.
Well, I'm sure the alternative was go home and sleep and then not wake up in time.
Yeah, exactly, because I've done that too. Where I didn't even know I worked that week. I don't even remember working that week because I thought it was off. I'm at like breakfast with my dad, and he's calling me. Robert's like, "Hey, where you at?" I'm eating at IHOP with my dad. He's like, "Well, you're supposed to be at Desert West at 7. It's 8 o'clock." I was like, "Oh shit!" I get there before 9 o'clock.
That was the problem with getting the schedules a day before,
Yeah.
2 days before.
Right.
I already started planning the rest of my week.
Yeah, but it's fun times being part time and doing that stuff and getting to lay the land of different departments and getting new experiences, and it was cool. And I hang my hat on specifically that job because not everybody has done it, not everybody can do it either.
In terms of like where I feel like I had some growth, looking back now, that was for sure a time. In the times, I didn't think of it because I just thought of it as me just picking up hours on the side during the off season. But realistically, I was gaining experience in sports. I was gaining experience working with maintenance crew because we worked hand in hand with maintenance crews. Sometimes they'd be there working with us. You know what I mean? Multiple sites at a time. Sometimes being the only person on site to meet baseball, whatever have you.
For outside vendors and
for the vendors,
yeah.
So like in doing all that, when I went to apply for my full-time job, I was like, well, I've already done this. So like on paper, when we would apply for jobs in 2015 and 16, it's like, how the hell are we not getting chosen for these jobs?
Right, especially for you, that's special operations, right? That's your wheelhouse.
Yeah,
that's
but the
everything.
problem was I was not applying for special operations positions.
You're right, for sure. Yeah, no,
I was applying for coordinator, and I was full transparency. I applied for programmer one time, and I never even set up an interview because I was like, it's a down step. Right. I became a pool manager and a programmer does less
Right.
responsibility-wise. It's a full-time job, yes.
Right.
It's hourly great, but I would take a pay cut and do less work.
Right.
I was like, I feel like that's
with the shitty,
correct,
not as desirable schedule.
correct. And I got to do my own schedule as a
Right,
manager.
right,
You know what I mean? So, that's kind of what kept me. I'm sure I could have became a programmer in the city a while ago, and
Well,
that's
that's
just
the
me
other thing.
saying that now. But
That's the other thing, and people usually go from part-time to programmer to coordinator 3, and we kind of skipped a step, but we paid for that step with the amount of experience. I'm putting quotation marks out right now.
well, if you look at all the people they've hired for programmers through the time, and then make it eventually to coordinator, I don't think they're a better coordinator because they were a programmer.
No,
You know what I mean? I think they would.
They
Whoever you would have put there would have stepped up.
They just get the experience of
Being at a site.
supervising part-time staff.
The problem that creates now, though, is they don't like to hire people at the same site. So, like, if you were a programmer at a site, usually they don't like to hire the same coordinator unless you were a 2 going to a 3. I feel like
Well,
'cause
depending
you're
on-
going from a peer to now supervising your
Right.
peers, and
For
I feel
sure,
like
right? I mean, that's understandable, I guess, but
so, like, you're kind of setting yourself up to for sure go work somewhere else. You know what I mean? When you're a programmer.
right.
So, but
Right.
neither here nor there. I chose to avoid that, which kind of made my process a lot longer. But you did get a position before I did.
I did.
What year did you get full time?
2021, in June of 2021. I remember getting a call on my way to Rocky Point.
I'm sure we were both. I think we probably both interviewed for that one too.
Probably, for sure. No, it was the supervisor that hired me. He was on his way out. He was retiring. He retired 2 weeks after my start date
What site?
at Coleman and Kofeld Recreation Center in downtown Phoenix, or in west side of Phoenix. Yeah, it was interesting. Appreciate the experience I had there, but yeah.
And how long were you there?
I was there for 4 years, and now
Damn.
now I'm currently at East Lake Park
So like from
Community
there to
Center.
East Lake, you haven't gone anywhere else?
No, not.
Dang,
no.
I thought you were in South,
So I was in South,
but like at the South.
in the South. So that's the South Division,
You're
but
not
not
South
South
Mountain.
Phoenix. No.
Yeah.
So, but in that time, there's been like vacancies, and people have having, especially with the new law or new whatever that happened for the city, that people get maternity leave and paternity leave. I probably oversaw like 6 different rec centers at once because of, when somebody leaves, somebody has to pick up the slack, and I was usually that guy, kind of a thing. And that's kind of what I do now, kind of to support my division. Kind of.
Well, I thought that was cool about that. You said 2021 is when you got your full-time job. I was still applying for jobs.
Sure.
And I would see you'd be the host, like the host for the next job.
Right,
I'm like,
right,
God damn, how many years are you the host?
And honestly, I was, again, at this point in time, you're my friend. I got you. I would do whatever I can to get you, whatever I can, again, whatever little influence I have. I was definitely trying to do that, in any which way. I'm not going to say how and which way, but I'm just going to say I was definitely rooting for you and like kind of massaging why you might have been the best candidate for certain jobs.
That's not necessarily just our job.
Sure,
In a
sure,
lot
sure.
of jobs, people want their person, you know what I mean? And to do their due diligence and allow everyone
Right,
else.
fair and what do they call it? A fair.
Oh, it's fair and no, it's not. That's not where you're going. Where are you going with this?
No, yeah, it's fair and so when they send their emails, it's after a fair and competitive process. Competitive process. Here's a new asshole that I picked in front of you, basically.
So I think that only affected me probably like 1 or 2 times, where it's like him.
Here's the thing.
You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. I'll put it out there. I'll never hate somebody getting the position. I would never do that.
No.
And I'm definitely, again, I'm 36 now, and I've spent when I was part time, I was 16 years part time, and there are definitely people that started after me who got a job before me full time, and it is what it is, right? And I worked with probably half the department at that time, and right now, as it currently stands, they all got jobs like 16 years of, they got jobs before me, but hey, it is what it is. And no hate, but you just hate the fact that, for whatever reason they picked them before
You got passed up.
Yeah, got passed
and
up.
it's not hate towards
And we've all
anybody else.
felt- yeah, we've all felt
it's
it.
that interior feeling that like, wow, I felt like I did a really good job. Like I did everything I had, and I was just passed over. Like for what?
Well, here's the thing about me. I know a lot of times the interview process is not my best.
Oh, mine either. I think I did a good job. That's I'm saying that for my internals.
Right, and that's the thing, right? You interview well, you're supposed to get the job, you know. But should you be are you the right person for that job? That's a whole different question.
I remember this last one that I did. It was at the Municipal Hall or Memorial Hall, Steel, and I walked in. And you were sitting there, you were the greeter, and I was like, my man, Javier.
Yeah.
And I was like, 4 spots. I was like, they've had a busy day. You were like naming off some of the people that have come through. And as soon as you said Brian Shelley, I was like, shit. Because I was going, like I said, I had in my mind, Thomas was going to Sunny Slope. There was Reach 11 was open, and then there was the 2 other spots.
Right, you map out what's available, and you kind of know who's working where and all that kind of stuff. And you knew Brian Shelley was.
As soon as I saw that he had an interview.
There was a softball position, and Brian Shelley was part-time for a long time, worked with maintenance.
It was a Reach 11.
But it was Reach 11.
It was a Reach 11 too.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is perfect.
It was just the writings on the wall kind of a thing.
As soon as I saw you told me his name, he was already through. I was like, well, shit, well. All right, well, what are the other spots? So I started looking, and it was like Sunny Slope, Muriel, and like Gray. Faye Gray. Yeah. So I was like, I don't know Muriel or Faye Gray, but I saw Zyra on the panel, and I was like, I'm cool with Zyra.
Sure, yeah.
And then I saw Joey on the panel. I was like, I'm cool with Joey, but he already picking Brian. I saw Dallin on the panel. I was like, he's picking Thomas. So I was like, I'm talking to Kiri and this lady. I don't know who it was. Still couldn't tell you who she was. So I was like, I wasn't even looking at these other 3 people. I was looking at these 2, trying to wow them, work, you know what I mean, give everything I had. And for sure, it was definitely my best interview. I left it. I was like, well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Like, I had already gone through a process where there was 8 spots at one time. I don't know if you were in that one. That's probably the one you got hired on.
Maybe. I don't know.
It was virtual.
Oh, yeah, for sure, yeah.
There was like the panel, you jump on and there's 8 people on the panel.
Oh, yeah, and one of my supervisors at the time, he would say, if you don't get one of these positions, you might as well get it.
That's what everyone was telling me, and then I didn't get one, bro. I was beefed. Anyways, so then I was like, 4. All these other people took these other spots. Yeah. Like, it's my time. I didn't get it. And I was like, dang, man. I knew I wasn't getting Slope and Reach.
Right.
And the other 2, I was like, who got the other 2? And one of them was like, Yolanda Washington got one of them.
Oh, that's downtown, yeah.
And then...
And if you're talking about Faye Muriel, you're talking about Jessica.
So Jessica ended up getting it. And I was like, I don't even know who Jessica was at the time.
Yeah, she was coming out of NRD.
No, she wasn't. She was already a 2 at Rose.
Oh, yeah,
so she put in for the transfer.
Oh, yeah.
And what that did when she got it, it opened up the Rose spot. And Joey and Dallin and Zyra and Kiri and all of them told Robert, and they were like, hey, you need to hire Daniel for this spot that Jessica vacated.
And Javier was telling them.
Yeah, you were a greeter, you're right. But I was down in the dumps, bro, because they were like, hey, like you were on the bench, like you're number 2 right now on the waiting list, and if anything comes up, I was like, I've already heard this numerous times. I've gotten this call over and over. So usually what it meant to me was, hey, you didn't get it. We're going to wait for the list to expire and then open it up again to the next time. Sure. That's what it meant in my head. So I was like, well, this is stupid. So I started, my mind, I just went blank. I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to play no more. I'm going to try to get in shape. I'm going to be a firefighter. Like that's everything I was saying, bro. And my boss, currently Becky, she was my supervisor for aquatics, got wind of me being down in the dumps. And she had already talked to Robert about them wanting to hire me. So she told Robert, hey, can you call Daniel and let him know, like, your plan, tell him to keep his mouth shut, whatever, so that, like, he's talking about doing this, XYZ, and, like, leaving aquatics and blah, blah, blah. So he called me, and he was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, unfortunately, you didn't get that Reach 11 spot, but I want to call you and let you know that we do have a 2 spot that opened up because somebody moved, and I already submitted all the paperwork, and we're going to hire you. And I was like, oh, shit.
Damn.
Because, like,
so realistically, it's not even Georgianne calling you.
No, it's Robert.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's because we had that relationship.
Sure. And he had to make calls anyway.
Correct. Because he called Brian and offered Brian a job. So
and now he's a 3. Now he's a 3.
I was like, dang, so I got one. Like, it's cool. And I heard all the stories about Georgianne and everything. And I was like, I'm gonna give her an opportunity. The best,
Sure,
you know what I mean?
she's
I'm gonna
a
give her an
tough
opportunity.
cookie.
Like
She
she knows,
respects a lot.
She knows a lot. Like she's been around a lot. I'm gonna just try to absorb as much as I can. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. I don't know how long she's gonna be here. So I was just a sponge. And a month in, she was like, "You got it," and left me alone. I did everything. Like I started doing everything there.
Man, you know, Georgie's definitely a cool person. Definitely somebody
She's
that
great person to know for sure.
For sure.
But movement happened. Word started talking, and they opened up that aquatic spot. And they offered it to Narina first, because Narina had it at COVID when they moved her.
Right.
So they were like, "Hey, Narina, we're going to open up this third aquatic spot. Do you want it?" She said no. And then Regina called me, who's my coworker now. She's like, "Hey, like, we're opening up the third aquatic spot." I was like, "What? Like, how?" Like, they're like, "Hey, we want you to apply." Like,
Well,
I was
they're
like,
opening. I'm assuming logic. I'm outside looking in. They're opening more pools. They need a third. They need a third.
The problem is they make it work with two.
Right.
So up above, they're like, "Well, you made it work with two, but realistically, it needs three." Like
for sure.
The distribution, the workload, the rest of the year, it needs a third for sure. Because just the burnout. You know what I mean?
Right. And just on the outside looking in, also they're like, "Well, what do they do for 6-7 months? What do they got? What do they do? That's a cake. That's an easy job." But I don't want it.
These kids just show up out of nowhere and start working. Like there's a lot that goes into it.
Right. There's a lot of safety stuff.
Because realistically, at the community centers, they do. They just show up and start working.
Like, hold on, we don't just relax.
I'm talking in the sense of the training that they don't need certifications. They don't need X, Y. You know what I mean? Okay. So there's different things that they need in terms. They can't just show up one day and be like, "Hey, today's
don't say they when they's in front of you. Okay, just say you. Okay.
Well, it's not just you either. But my thought is because I worked in a rec center for a little bit, but I was spoon fed my rec center time. I got to work with Melissa, and she let me do coordinator 2. Dave Fierro and Rona were the 2s. Okay. She let me do whatever I wanted.
All right. Rona Pride was one of my coordinators at one point.
I liked her. A lot of people didn't like her.
I respected her. She was cool. I thought she was.
She told me to take off my hat one time, and I was like,
"Oh wait, we're not doing that."
I had my hair was bleached at the time, and I was like, "If you want, we can talk about this another time, but I'm not gonna take off my hat right now."
Right.
I don't have a problem taking off my hat. I got a full head of hair.
Don't do it for me.
I got a full head.
Ask me for it.
Correct.
Don't do it for me.
And don't ask me right here in front while I'm working POS 2, and there's 3 people in line.
Right. Don't do that right now.
Come on now.
You know.
But I think that's what people didn't like about her. It's her approach.
Yeah, for sure.
The decision making that she did, and
ex-cop or something.
Yeah, for sure. Wired a little differently.
Sure.
Working in a part-time recreation center, coming from that, I'm sure it's a whole different scene.
Right.
Right. But I enjoyed my time working in all these different places, meeting all the different people. That's kind of set me up for. I was able to be It took me a long time to get to it too, but when I did, I hit the ground running. You know what I mean? I feel so prepared going into it.
Sure, and in the position that you had, it was like you got to get there. You got to get up and go because there's so much stuff to do at Rose. So much things that go on there that you got to like. Either drown or you float, pretty much.
For lack of a better term.
Yeah, you know.
Another thing that I enjoyed about being at the sports complex as opposed to a rec center was the rec center, the amount of marketing and reach out that you guys do and try to get everyone to come and use your facility and use your programs and do all that. At the sports center, I didn't have to do that.
Nope.
It's a facility that people are already inquiring about. They already want to use it. I'm having to tell people no, like, sorry, we don't have, that weekend's not available. We can't do this. So I liked that part. I wasn't having to do both sides. I was just, people were contacting me and I was, yeah, of course. Or nope, sorry, not going to work.
Right. So there's pros and cons to being in a rec center and not in a rec center.
100%. The stress level, the dealing with the people interaction. I don't like people. I didn't have to fake it a lot there because the people I would interact with were the tournament directors and the vet coordinators and things like that. And then they would deal with everybody else.
And that's the thing. How does one, as a non-people person, work with people or work with the community or work?
The fact that you didn't know means I do a pretty good job.
Sure.
People know, though. They're starting to figure out. I'm starting to tell people, and they're starting to figure it out.
The layers are starting to come off a little bit.
It's because someone will say something, and then they'll, like, my 2 coworkers, Regina and Kelly, will, like, say something, and then I'll, like, turn around, and they'll, like, see my face. I was like, stop looking at me. Don't be trying to read my face and trying to find my mannerisms and innuendos. And
then, like, you're not on probation no more, so you don't even have to, like...
I used that as an excuse for a whole year. Well, I was on probation for 2 years because I got to 8 months.
Oh yeah.
And then I had to start it over again when I got the new job. So for 20 months, I was on probation.
Yeah.
But as soon as I would say, well, probation, Daniel's not going to do nothing. But as soon as I'm on probation, I'll say something. And I definitely have been more vocal, spoken my mind a little bit more. So, but I'm sure you feel the same way we're at because you're with Kiri, and I'm sure she's allows you to kind of do your thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, she's the
this
best
group
boss.
has allowed me to do that too. From day one, I come in and they I feel valued immediately. Mm-hmm. The fact that you're constantly asked to supervise and oversee places while other people are gone, I think is a trust that you have instilled in people that when you do it, it's going to be done correctly.
Right, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
And I also give the staff the opportunity to like do what they know how to do, because a lot of our staff in the South Division are veterans, and so it's not about micromanaging. It's just like, what can I do
Or
to
coming
help?
in and changing it.
No, I'm not trying to change, especially if I'm not your direct supervisor. Anyway, I'm just here to pick up time cards and making sure the building's still alive. Still up. I'm not here for power trips. I'm just here to improve the quality of life of the city of Phoenix.
True. No, it's true, and I feel like that's what makes
Retainability, like the people that stay working for you. I'm not sure if you're hiring a lot of people all the time. When I was a manager, I was able to retain probably 85 to 90% of my staff every year because they enjoyed working for me. They got I feel like I made it a place where they got to work, not had to work.
Right.
And I feel like obviously I've never worked for you or been there, but
No, definitely. I try to definitely show that I'm there for my staff, and also I'm not here to just give orders or give direction. I'm here to work with you, and just what can I do to help you be the best you at your job. And if I help you out with something, scratch my back, I scratch your back, and you can get hours, you can get opportunity to run the program that you want to do versus what I think you should do.
Correct.
Kind of a thing. So that's how I try to be a supervisor, is not be a power monger or whatever that may be. Just more of, I'm not your friend either, but we can be friendly, but also make sure that things are being done that need to be done.
And I think that's what's has kept us connected, I guess, for lack of a better term, throughout these years, because we've been on committees together, we've been on projects and groups and things like that, where it's because whenever they're like, hey, can you work with Javier on this? I don't care what it is. I'm like, I'm down.
Absolutely.
I'm down. I know we'll get it done. I know it'll be, I know I can work good with you.
And we're going to have a good time doing it, and we're going to shoot the shit, and ultimately, even we might go 6 months without seeing each other, and we might see each other at a meeting,
department meeting,
and we just might even nod heads at each other, and just because you're over there and
I sit on my spot,
and I sit on my side, and I just be like, hey man, all right, nice seeing you. And I kind of do that. You say your dad isn't really the people person either, and I didn't. Not that I sniffed it out, but when I talk to your dad, it's handshake, how you doing? Seen Daniel? No, I ain't seen Daniel. All right, cool. And I walk away.
Well, see, I try to feel like your dad because I've never even spoken to your dad.
Right.
I see him in the back, and I was like, all right, well, he looks intimidating.
And that's a funny thing that most people don't even think about either. Both of our dads work for the city at the same time. That's maybe one of our...
probably about the same time, too.
Sure. And so a lot of the Nepo baby stuff and all of the stuff that might have came along with that might have stuck with us for the old guard, as far as oh, that's so-and-so's kid.
I don't think it ever helped me, though.
That's what I'm saying. That's the thing I'm talking about. Is I remember when I first was getting on part-time, and people initially thought I was just some entitled kid, and I'm like, my dad's not the city manager. My dad's in the community running programs every day.
My dad's out there changing sprinklers.
Yeah, why? How am I somebody that's...
If anything, it made it harder.
That did because they rub people the wrong way.
Well, also, and the ulterior is they did really good at something.
Sure.
And then you're now that one impression that they have of my dad, they're gonna expect me to do everything that same way too. Which I feel like a little bit happened in the beginning, but as I got older, I feel like I did a good job.
At least your dad was in maintenance. I was doing I'm trying to get on the same thing my dad's doing.
You're learning the same position as your dad.
The crazy thing is my dad, I was a co-worker of his for almost 5 years. Literally would go on lunches at least 3 times a week, which was a cool thing. But once we got on, it's not like I just didn't do my job, I was honestly probably better for it. because I was his coworker, and he would bounce ideas off of me. Oh, you all right, man? Okay, thank you.
It's cool, like, seeing my dad every once in a while. I was driving out to one of my pools to go look at it, and I saw a maintenance guy there taking a picture of a water fountain, and I pulled up. I was like, hey, that's my dad. Pulled up, chopped it up for a little bit. Like, I wouldn't have been able to get that opportunity, like, in a 9-to-5 rat race, go another type of job, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And, I hated it during the process, but, like, I'm glad I ended up where I ended up, and everything happened for a reason. I think if I would have been at a community center, I would have ended up hating it, and I would have tried to find something else outside the city to leave.
Right.
So I feel like it worked out.
And that's what people were telling me when I was trying to find a job, right, or get a job. Is like, you're gonna get a job, and it's gonna be the best spot for you, and like the position finds you kind of in a certain
Sounds
way.
like you had the same mentors I had.
That's what they were saying.
Tony Salinas?
Oh, geez, yeah.
I've heard that from him specifically.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
Yeah, so that could be another nexus, right? We know Tony Salinas. Tony's one of my good friends to this day. I worked with him when I was like fresh 21 at Longview Recreation Center. Neighborhood Recreation Center, excuse me, and he was a programmer at the time. Now he's doing big things. He's a deputy director of Downtown Division of the City of Phoenix.
The only reason why I know him and associate with him was through you. I think I saw him one time where I was with you and we saw him and I met him that way. And then every time I saw him after that, he made it a point to talk to me. And then when I started interviewing and going through stuff, I would meet with him prior to like go over interview questions and go over like prep and things like that. And even debrief after, like, hey, like, I feel like it went really good, and like
he might even be on those panels too, right?
Yeah, a couple times, yeah. So, I definitely saw him as a mentor, which is another connective tissue that we have. I guess we have more than I thought.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even think about it because, like you said, you met him through me, so to speak. But then you went on and took your own.
Correct. Yeah. My interactions with him weren't only when you were there. It was
right,
and that's how it started.
And the thing about that guy, he is the most on point person. You wouldn't think of looking at him. I'm not saying that in a bad way. You wouldn't assume that this guy is who he is.
Yeah.
But this guy is
extremely involved as well, which is another thing I didn't expect.
He's on his shit. He's on his A game. He never not on point is what I kind of say about Tony. He's never not on point. He's always on point. But he's also one of the best guys I've ever met in my life, and just in general in our what we do. He's top notch for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I like I said, I use him as a mentor when I finally got my job as a 2 and then eventually a 3. Like, first one to congratulate me, like call me up after the announcement went out. Like,
I didn't even call you.
Yeah, I mean, but I think I had told you before the announcement came out anyways. Yeah, but like, I don't talk to him all the time. So when he made it a point to like call me and talk to me about it. And like, I came in and we're using window work. And I came in and I trained some of his staff, and like he wasn't like too big for his britches, where he was sitting in on the training, taking notes, asking me questions, like trying to learn it for his staff, because I feel like if I was just some other random person, he probably wouldn't have. He probably would just let them, but because it was me, he like took the time to sit there, and
he does do that. If you're doing any type of presentation and it's crickets, when usually you're asking a question and it's crickets and you're looking for some crowd participation, he's going to be the first one to raise his hand and be like, whatever that question needs to happen, he's going to do it. He's very supportive in that way too. He's just an all-around great dude, man.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm glad he ended up where he did.
I want to be on I don't want to be on his dick, but but hey, flowers are flowers. Flowers are flowers, brother.
Fine, they are. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad he got the deputy position down there. My deputy position still being open.
Oh yeah.
I would have liked
him to be there?
Him to be an option for us, because we would have loved him. Like, he would have been, it would have been a great fit.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I'm happy for him. I'm glad he got a spot.
Too many Latinos in power over there, brother.
I know. But eventually they're going to be gone. So, like, our deputy spot right now, special ops, is open.
Oh, okay.
They've already run the process. I believe they've selected somebody, but they haven't announced.
And you have no idea?
Because they're being super secretive about it.
Okay. I mean, at that point, it is pretty important. You know,
at that level,
yeah. And when you get to that point, you're an executive, right? You're not even in the same.
Which is crazy, because it's 2 spots away from me.
Sheesh. That's it. That's all.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Like, my boss is going to retire in 2 years, and I plan to apply for it, knowing damn well that Regina's going to also apply.
Sure.
And if she gets it, excellent. She's
Absolutely.
been working 5 years longer than me. She has been kind of put in the work in terms of like politically, in terms of meeting the people and like doing that work. Ability of the job, I feel like both of us could do it. Her, right? If we had to be right now, her. I just started. I have a lot to learn about this job still. I do my 1/3. You know what I mean? But there's 2 other components that like they handle. And I know, but they handle them. It's not my job right now. So I feel like I just have a lot more to learn. But I definitely plan on applying for that job. And I never planned to before.
Sure.
Like, it was never even a possibility in my mind. Neither was this. You know what I mean?
But
So,
you got there, and now it's just you're soaking it all in. You're soaking all the game up like you did when you were 2 with Georgie at Special Ops at Reach 11.
it's the special ops, so yeah.
Yeah, still Special Ops, but you're just taking what comes to you. Pause. You know what I mean?
Well, being that being involved more, especially like that's how I know it's a passion. I go to these conferences every year. Like next year I'm gonna put in to present.
Right.
I have put together a proposal and sent it to the director and assistant director of the association to start a podcast for the organization that I would host.
Nice.
And they haven't told me no. Like, they said, hey, let's talk about it. Instead of, like, they could have easily just been like, oh, it's not our money. We can't afford it. And I painted them a picture where, like, it's going to cost you $0 to start because I already got everything.
Right.
I already have everything. Let's do a trial run. If you don't like me, then don't like me. Pick somebody else after. But, like, give it a fair chance that costs you nothing.
Right. And would you, like, do it throughout the year and, like, get people online?
Yeah, so, like, my goal. So, how I came up with that idea is I was on a committee for them, membership engagement committee for the AOAP, Association of Aquatic Professionals. Okay. And we had a meeting one day, and he was like, what can we do to, like, we want to engage more members. Like, our target demographic is this, but we're only engaging with this. Like, how can we expand? And I was like, well, looking at all our social medias, Facebook is our most popular within the organization. And the age group of people that use Facebook is a lot older than the younger new generation that's coming up in the aquatic professional world. You know what I mean? Right. So I was like, one way you could do TikToks, social, Instagram, all that stuff you can do, but a podcast right now, it's catch both.
It's the biggest thing.
You'll catch both demographics. The older people are listening to podcasts. The younger people are listening to podcasts. Like, you wouldn't lose anybody. But the way I, like, presented it to them is I wanted to start my own, not for the organization, where I interviewed aquatic professionals, because I'm just Daniel Peters, but somehow I know a lot of people that are bigwigs in the aquatic professional world.
You mentioned that in your last interview.
And I don't know how I know them or how I'm friends with them, but I am.
Sure.
And a lot of people are very interested in their lives and how they got started and how this is kind of what I'm doing with you, but my goal is to do it with them. And I feel like I can kind of spin it where it's like I can do that still, but through the organization.
Right.
And now I don't have to start a following. I have a list of thousands of members that pay to be a member already.
Right. And you, as being a aquatic professional, you can, like, see how you guys think and what you guys do on a daily
100%.
basis and make it interesting for that target audience versus, like, just putting it out to the world.
I think that's why they didn't just say no. Right. They want to have a conversation about it. And I feel like the conversation is going to be how
do we want him to do it?
How can we get started? Even if it's not me, I don't care. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take any offense. I know 100% I am not everybody's cup of tea. 100%.
Right, but it's your idea.
Correct. But it was my idea to do it. The proposal included me as a host, but also if I didn't select me, this is what you would need. This is kind of what you would look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we don't want this raspy voiced fat bastard to be my host.
Why not? Why not? And I think so. My goal this year was I plan to apply for the board. So there's like a board that makes decisions. So I plan to apply for that. So this year at the conference, I was networking my ass off, just fucking talking to everybody. Hey, how you doing? And I have the advantage of being with that photographer guy who knows everybody. Sure. And that kind of helped me. But I also know the deputy director of the association. Me and him we got really close this last conference. We talked about, I just make a couple little jokes here and there, and these old dudes are like, hell yeah. They look at, you know what I mean? So like, but I feel like those are the connections I wanted to make anyways. And they felt organic. I wasn't like forcing anything. So which makes me think it's a good opportunity. And I think they're going to, what does it hurt? You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
And if they don't like the content, we won't post it. I'm not going to post just to post. Like, I'm going to run everything through them. I'm not going to get them in trouble. Like, It's them.
Right.
And if they don't like it, fuck it, we won't do it. So,
I think it's new age. It's what people are doing these days. Why not? At the end of the day.
and then if I can leverage it to like a free conference, I'll do this for the whole year.
And you're planning to do it for free?
That's what I'm saying. I'll do it for free, but you guys pay for my conference attendee price, like waive it, and I'll do this all year as part of the board.
And then you'd be able to do the park stuff too. You wouldn't have to use
that
your blue
can't
money.
Do.
Yeah.
Like I'm the aquatics teams lead for APRA. I show up to APRA conference and I do the round table on the first day, and then I dip out.
Yeah. And that's what I saw you a couple, was it not last year?
I had like 75 people in my round table this year.
Oh, no shit.
I just took over too.
Oh, okay.
I was on it with somebody else, and we had like meetings, and I love this guy. His name's Kevin. He's from Marana. He ran it, but he's like
Tucson.
He had a lot going on. He just opened a facility. He was not giving it 100%. So when I helped him, immediately he was like, "You take over. I don't want to do it anymore." I was like, "What?" Like, and then I started doing stuff, and people were like, "Oh, this is great. You guys are gonna do great for it." I was like, "Don't knock Kevin. All right, Kevin did a good job too. It's just he was busy. He didn't have going. You know what I mean?"
Right.
But, so I have a little bit.
I don't know Kevin, but let me shoot Kevin some bail. I've been ahead of one of the teams of APRA, and not to say I wasn't the most busiest person doing everything. I was DEI. I was
right now. It's Vaughn Taylor now.
I was the leader.
She's looking for a co-lead if you want to be back on it.
I don't know.
I'm on it now. We'll get to see each other.
It doesn't even seem like people are even interested in DEI at this point, because
That's why she's the only
2
one.
years in a row.
I think you had diversity or some shit.
Yeah, DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Oh, okay.
Come on, brother.
DEI nowadays you hear with everything else. It's shunned. They don't even like to talk about it.
But the thing is, in the parks world, you have to have diversity.
100%. 100%.
Right. So, but the thing is, people wouldn't come to the round table. I literally sat there as cricket, me and my supervisor. She showed up because she was my supervisor. But other than that, it was another person that was mistakenly came into my round table.
So you would, me saying I don't like people and I'm fake walking into my round table, you wouldn't believe me either. I was sitting there. I had I had an agenda. I was passing out agendas
Shaking
to people.
hands and kissing babies.
Everything. Because I want them to be involved. Like, I don't want to sit there and talk. I do not want to sit. This is weird that I'm saying that. Starting a podcast, my second podcast, talked about starting a third podcast. I don't want to sit up there and have people watch me talk. That's not what it is. Because in the aquatic world, that sage on the stage, that's not. It's interaction based. It's conversations. That's how a lot of the things are. So I don't like. Why am I going to change it just specifically for that? Right. So I ask questions and dug for people to give me the information.
No, and I share that sentiment with you. Like, I'm not the person. If you know me, I'm not the person to be up front and be the life of the party. But I've been thinking about posting content myself. But I'm not, again, the first person you think about when I can definitely see him posting content or this or that, but that's what I want to do. And one of my first dreams was to be on the radio, and then when like you said, I was posting on Snapchat and Instagram. I was literally doing these things. I was doing these things just because it was the new thing, and it was also something to dabble in. I know when YouTube first came out, it was I thought about it was kind of weird and shunned upon, but what was I doing? Watching everything on YouTube, right? And then I had to tell myself hey man, you're watching all this. Why can't you do it? You wanted to do it. Just why can't you do it? And
what type of content would you do? So
I'm planning. Again, not one of the reasons I like you. Just by I would have this conversation anyway. But I plan on doing food review stuff. Originally, when I was back then, I was just posting, musically. I was making musically when I was working softball.
I remember. I remember.
I was making that's how old we are. We're unks now, right? We're making musicallys.
No, we're not. There's a middle one.
What's before unk?
I don't remember what
Big
it is.
Bro?
Big Bro. We're Big Bro.
Hold on. I'm unk. You're probably Big Bro. How old are you?
I'm 36. I'm 35.
I'm 36.
I think it's between 30 something and 38, 39. So I think we're still Big Bro for a couple more years.
Okay, I'll take it. But Well, I was just at work right now, and they were just calling me OG. So I don't.
I know, I get that too.
Relax. And I was like, dude, you're older than me.
Big man. I get big man all the time.
I get big man, but I get OG too. And I'm like, and my staff was like, that's because you run the center. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I get it. I'll take it. I'm not this big ageist person. I can care less if I get older. But basically, what I'm saying is,
I'm young-minded.
I was making content. I was Snapchatting all the time, but for some reason, I just like let it fall to the wayside. And then I would see, now with TikTok and Instagram, and you see foodie people like popping out left and right, and I consume all of it. I appreciate all of it, because then what am I going to do? I'm going to go to that spot.
Be a hater?
I'm going to go to that spot, right? I'm going to go try it out and see, is their palate like mine? Or, you know what I mean? You never know. You never know who you listen to. When you go, if I tell you, hey, man, this new taco spot, or hey, man, this new Greek spot, you should try it when you get a chance or whatever. Or let's go have a lunch at this place, whatever the case.
Revolution.
Don't see again. Here's the thing. I don't know the guy that runs that place, but it seems like he's everywhere. He's a DJ on the radio, whatever. But
was it the guy in the video?
Yeah, that was him. That's his spot. And he does his own food reviews. I don't know if you ever saw them, but he does like a call Sal. He gets
so he looked familiar. That's why I didn't know he was the owner. I thought he just like was doing a video promoting the place.
He owns the place. He runs the place or own it. I think he's the owner. But he also, how I know him originally is because he does taco reviews, and so he's doing 8.9. He's doing this. He's dogging people out. He's not dogging people out. He likes some stuff, right? So when I see that he gets a taco spot, I'm like, oh, I gotta try these.
Gotta be top.
Gotta be fire. Gotta be at least 8.5. That's what I'm talking about.
But the point that I was making is that it's that fool. Like he started somewhere. Me doing this, I started somewhere. You know what I mean? And
right.
I hopefully this can be some inspiration to you, because
that was my other point.
I could definitely see you doing that, and right. I could definitely for sure.
So when you put out your podcast, and I know I'm supportive. Well, first of all, sports one first. Yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh, this guy's really doing it. I'm really interested in fantasy football. I listen to fantasy. That's all I pretty much listen to when it's football season. And I'm like, dude, this is really doing it. When you were posting on your clips, I feel like I was the only one commenting a lot of times.
You were.
But the thing is, I know I get the game. Like you need people to interact on your feed to have conversations so that it bolsters up the eyes. That you know what I mean. That's how the algorithm works. That's why I was doing it. Not to say that I don't. I do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you can catch me on Instagram or TikTok.
You have for years. You have.
I'm commenting.
I comment,
and I'm sure you see that.
You even see mine. I'll comment on something, and you'll like screenshot.
I'm in the comments lurking. Well, that's what social media is for.
100%.
It's a community, right? We all have the same.
I always said I wish that they would come up with the button where you can like that somebody liked it. Like Javier liked this photo. I like that Javier liked this photo, and then you would see it and be like, "Hey, this photo."
Well, it's also funny when you see somebody like maybe a suggestive photo or a suggestive video, and you see your friend.
Well, now they put their little faces.
Oh yeah,
it's like a little bubble. Yeah,
floaty. Oh, you dirty son of a gun! You a dummy. But it's funny. But hey, it is what it is. That's your fault, not mine. I didn't
I'm sure people have seen my little face on some suggestions.
Hey, but you're a single man, brother. But yeah, definitely it's inspiration. I have people out in my life that have done it and like done the podcast thing. I've always been I've been chopping at a bit. This is my first time on an actual podcast. I've had friends in college who started one. They would do it. They were doing it for years, and then something happened, and it would fall off, or whatever the case may be. But I would still watch. I would support. I would still listen. I would still support because you know what? I ultimately probably because I wanted to post my own content. You know what I mean? And it's funny that you say that. Like you could definitely see me posting stuff because one of my close friends, one of my best friends, he's like telling me to do it. Like, and
you see, once you do one, I think what stopped me from doing it was like, I can record it and do anything, but then now what do I do with it? Like. Now I have to edit it, and I have to fix it, and I have to make it.
People don't see.
Yeah, they don't see that back side of it too. So
it's hard.
But I do it myself. So if you want, I can help you start off. You record some content, I can help you edit it, or show you what I used to edit it.
So
it's super easy.
It's not about. For me, it's not the editing part because I know what I want to see. I know how I want it to look. It's more about getting the content I need to make a solid video that I'm proud of. Because when I get to these places, I go to. Let's go talk about sacks. You know, sacks sandwich shop, right? Right, right. Great place, right?
Very unbiased.
You used to work there, obviously, and I say I go there, and I'm have my phone out. I'm slowly going through, getting the tracking shots, and down there's the menu. Then it's me eating, I mean, things that you need to see. That's just a typical foodie video. It's me. I'm like, I don't get enough footage, and I have to explain what they have, their menu, type of place. Do I like it? What did I get? You know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about this, and how I plan on doing it is voiceover, and you can kind of see my face, but I'm not talking to the camera, kind of sort of thing. So I'll get the B-roll, edit it, get it how I want it to look, and then what I would do is I'm telling AI or ChatGPT or whatever, write me a script, and I literally give it frame by frame of what it's happening, and it breaks it down, and I edit it to where I tell it to make it sound like me, and I edit it some more, and then we go from there. And then once I record it, I only have so much time to record it to get to where it makes sense, and it's just not enough time. The first video was like 35 seconds because I didn't want it to be this long, drawn out. Is it good or is it not good? You go to the thing or not go to the thing? Go to that place.
Well, the best bet to do in terms of we haven't done the same type of stuff, but too much is better than not enough. Like if you over record, give too much content, I always edit stuff out.
But ultimately, what I mentioned, shout out to my friend Mike Habre. He told me, bro, just gotta get up, gotta get over the fact of being embarrassed because
I'm gonna watch you.
The reason, because when I get to the restaurant, I'm making sure that the restaurant people or the people that work there aren't watching me record myself or record what's happening in the building. And he's like, just get over it, man. Like, once you get past that, you should be able to.
Well, there's two ways to do it. Where you can, one, just do it, or you can tell them,
yeah.
Like, hey, not big. I don't have a lot of followers. If not, but I'm sorry. But I'm trying to work on my reviews, and I want to record some content that I'm too talking to.
Yeah, that's basically what I want to do. It's just my because being self-conscious.
But sometimes that might open another door. But come to the back, and they'll let you record from the kitchen, or something like that.
Right. I also don't want to feel like I'm being thirsty. Like, oh, I'm already this big shot, and I'm already looking for hookups of any way. That's not what I'm trying to do. Ultimately, obviously, why post on the internet and not try to monetize it in some way? But that's not what
finding out isn't just as easy as posting and making money.
You have to certain marks,
correct,
multiple times. Yeah,
you have to hit milestones, right. Get the interaction before you.
Unless you're like the freaking.
You start off at Joe Rogan.
Yes. Unless you're like the what's the girl's name? The hot tour girl. They probably started giving her TikTok money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't even her video, but
I'm not in it to make money. That's my biggest thing too. It's it'd be cool if it could pay for something of itself at the end of the day, but by no means am I expecting it to take over my job or anything like that either.
100% influencer.
Correct. I've told my friends too, the dudes I do the highlight podcast with. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm not saying this is going to take off, but if for some reason it does, I will not be quitting my full-time job for this podcast. For
sure. That's the money's so astronomical.
Yeah. I feel like I'd be pretty good at giving two things 100% because they wouldn't intertwine. I can do all this when I'm not working. You know what I mean? I give it enough effort. I don't even sleep. So
and ultimately, you're at your dream job. So it's not like you want to you're quick to just leave the job. It's not like you work at freaking Subway. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely that's the goal. Definitely trying to, again, create content. And also, again, if the situation's right with the right people, again, I would definitely start a podcast. Again, I used to have a lot of hobbies. I used to go out, I used to play basketball, all this stuff. Again, I should be in a
good age.
For sure. But that's not a hobby. That's just something, fact of life these days. But something I want to do eventually is I feel like I have enough to say to be in a podcast or something. I enjoy podcasts. I listen to podcasts. I listen to podcasts more than music at the moment. And I think that's just with my.
It's crazy for you because you used to be
I'm definitely a hip hop head. I'm a music head. I love it, but at the moment, people ask me, "Have you heard this? You heard that?" I'm like, not really. I might have listened to it once. And now I'm back to my weekly regimen of podcasts. I mean, do you have any like podcast? I know you do podcasts, but other podcasts that you listen to regularly yourself?
Regularly is probably not the correct term, but I like to listen to like people who have no business having a podcast that have a podcast. Like celebrities that like start a podcast, athletes that start a podcast. For the guy like right now, those are the ones that listen to.
I seem like
Unless someone puts me on to one, where
like I seem like
that one.
Jason Bateman does a freaking podcast out of nowhere. Why? Get out of the lane.
Because they made a commercial of him being Bateman instead of Batman, and then once they said they'll start a podcast. It's literally right after that he started a podcast.
That's like industry plant type shit, brother. I know he's been. I know that's what I'm saying. I know he's busy.
Monetary things that they don't necessarily need that he's automatically.
He's been in the game for 30, 40 years, whatever. He was one of the people in the 80s, you know, all that stuff.
It's like Theo Bond.
Yeah, Road Rules. That's what I said.
Oh yeah, right.
I remember him. I was little Bond. I used to watch that stuff. And that's just a new media, right? We used to, reality shows was like the biggest thing, 20 years ago. Now podcasting is, and again, why not take my crack at it? I feel like I have my own thought process on things and my own little angle on things. That's my thing. And if nobody listens to it, oh well. But it's kind of my thing too.
I'm making it for me and my friends, but my thought process is when I put out, I probably said this on the last episode, when I put out the Javier episode, you're going to tell all your friends about the Javier episode so they can listen.
And here's something.
And then the Blake episode, the big Blake's friends will listen. Sure. That's kind of my thought.
Right. And maybe you can introduce yourself into the raspy fat bastard. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I never called it that in my life.
No, you're good.
It gives a good ring to it, though. The thing is, people are looking for, I listen to a lot of podcasts. I don't want to hear just some regular person talking. There has to be something interesting about your voice. I don't know what it is, but I want to hear your voice, whoever that is.
Yeah.
Some people may not like it. Some people might love it. It's just whatever, And again, I'm not the most well-spoken person. You probably annoyed me at this point in the podcast already, but somebody's out there just like Rev Life, right? There's a podcast out there for everybody.
Well, I've had a lot of friends that I've got good feedback from the first one that they're like interested in how my friend group is, because like I said in that other episode, I have friends that talk now that like don't even go through me, or like things like that have happened through that. And I know friends that are like friends of those friends that have like kind of like the only reason why I'm even friends with them is because these two got together for some reason. So they're also curious to see kind of like how they all intertangle and how it all kind of connects. And just, just the variety of friends that I have, I think it's
right.
They're all going to connect with something.
Because you've probably been at a party with them, and you probably even asked, "Well, how do you know so and so?" And you probably mentioned it, but they were probably 3 sheets to the wind, inebriated, and they'll remember. But somehow I do know Daniel, right? And this is how, and this is the nexus that you said, and what's interesting about you now? Can you keep those people? Only time will tell, right?
That's the goal. Is like, his episode obviously. So all his friends are Canadian. So when him and all his friends listen, all my numbers on the thing are in Canada numbers. I got an email saying I was in the top 100 comedy interview.
Wow,
Canada.
So is that what you're a comedy?
So I put it as a comedy interview only because they're like it's pretty vague on like how you can choose the interview. It's very vague. So I did comedy and interview, and then linked it as a comedy interview.
All right.
So I feel like there's going to be some comedical value that is going to come to this shoot. So
sure. Yeah, I listen to podcasts all the time. And I usually listen to comedians because they're the most interesting, and they get a laugh out of them. You ever heard of Stavros Halkias?
I have.
He's a comedian, right? And I think one of his podcasts it's not only like not informative, it's brain rot a lot of the time. But he knows that. He's also like, if he didn't have to do this, if he wasn't making money off of it, he probably wouldn't do it, because that's how most comedians are. Because it's like that type of brain. But he's like having a good time. He's really much talking to his friends, and he's just whatever comes out. And then he just, because he's funny and was just that type of person, it's just
I feel like that's what makes this one easier to do too, because I'm having conversations with my buddies, and
right.
I'm not.
You're not talking about friggin' how many
The
yards
problems and
we're not just talking about like when you even football, right? Even though you can talk about it all day, but it's probably easier to shoot shit with your friend versus talking about how many yak yards that
plus my
Aaron
captive audience
Jones makes.
my captive audience is a lot different too. I've had people that are like, I would totally listen to your podcast, but you talk about football, so like I don't really give a shit about football. So like a lot of people that say that.
Sure.
With this one, I'm hoping like, well, I didn't talk about football. I talked about a lot of other stuff.
Here's the thing: we both are super fans of football. We don't have to talk about. We probably don't even talk about. I barely remember that you're a Giants fan. I know you're a Giants fan. I may have poked the bear sometimes whenever there's some Giants news of some sort.
Sorry, it should be our year next year.
But absolutely, I love the team that you're building over there. But I think it's awesome. But like that's not where our friendship. So hell's going on. So currently a South Park episode happening. One of the
Most talking cartoon
heavyweight strippers on the screen right now. It's a cartoon, which is hilarious. But
pocket cartoon ever.
But that's not where our friendship started. So it's not even like what we even talk about.
Yeah.
We don't even talk about football, but we're both football fans, and we don't even talk about that.
Like it's a work. We started off as work.
Sure.
Relationship. You know what I mean? But I feel like the friendship doesn't necessarily work doesn't consume our conversations or our
no. I mean,
what we do talk about.
There's a sign of the times when it comes to that. Like probably 40 minutes of this is probably talking about work, but it was just because that's kind of
connective tissue.
That's the connective tissue.
It's like how it started, and
right.
There are definitely people I met at that time that I do not talk to by choice. So,
and there's just some parallels, obviously, but ultimately, we are friends. And I can definitely say that. You can't really say that about everybody that we work with. We're not friends, you know what I mean? So we have to work with them, even if we work with them for 10 years plus. Hi and bye. How you doing? How's it going? How's your center going? How's your situation? Well, but that's all it is. But
what's kind of the thought with making this too? When I have my list of people I want to interview, and it's like, who do I leave off? Who do I add on? And it's like, am I going to hurt someone's feelings by not interviewing them later on? Like,
but the thing is,
I can't think of it that way. I have to think about it. This is my project. These are the people I want to talk to because I feel like the conversations I'll have with these people get the most out of them.
Yeah, but the thing is, like I said, I've had friends, or not friends, or acquaintances that have started podcasts, and I've listened, and they've had guests, and I'm chomping at the bit, kind of a thing, right? But never asked. But that's not my place. It's their podcast, and if they want me on there, I'm not a close enough friend to even think that. But ultimately, if you get asked, I'm talking to you, the listener, if you get asked to be in a podcast, awesome, cool. But if not, hey, man. Wait till the next time.
And people I've asked people and they tell me no. Like, I got a lot going on. I don't really want to talk in front of other people. Like, I've gotten those two. So, no, and like I said, I'm not going to force anybody to do this. It's just a project I'm working on the side.
And another thing, if you think you're interesting in that, ask. If you feel like you could contribute to any podcast, or you just feel slighted because you're not on the podcast, just say something. And the next,
I'm going to get to the end of the list eventually, so I'm going to need to get going.
Right. And again, have me on again. We can have do the shit even more. And then we can be less structured because we probably we already talked about how we know each other. Yeah. So the next time it'll just be literally like a sit down conversation about whatever's happening, and that'd be that. It might be some football involved. It might not be some football involved.
I think that's the biggest thing that everyone is concerned about is, are they going to be able to sit and talk for the entire time or have a conversation?
Right. We didn't even go through half the day.
We didn't. I showed you the list of stuff I had. We were able to talk. If we get stuck, you can't talk. I have stuff to kind of keep in conversation.
Honestly, at this point, I wish we had it. I want to answer all the questions. But
because Ruben says to the guy with the put him up. Yeah. That's, like I said, it's the reason I have them is so I can continue to do this. Hopefully I don't need them. Hopefully every conversation goes like this where it's just so fluid. I mean,
right. But and when I listen to podcasts, there is a structure, and a lot of times, sometimes those segments into the podcast is the most interesting because it's either a lightning round of questions or just open-ended questions that the same question for everybody, and then it's cool to see the difference. Like, oh, this person said this, but this person said that. It's like, lightning round. Do you like pepperoni or cheese pizza, or do you like this or that? It's like, all right, well, so-and-so likes cheese. All right, a person like this, whatever the chick is.
All right, well, that's really all I ask you, buddy. I appreciate you coming on.
All right, no, thank you. I enjoy this. Sure.
I'm gonna follow up with you, man. I'm gonna see next time you're out eating somewhere. I'm gonna ask you if you see some content down. I got some support.
Oh, for sure. I haven't ate all day. I'm probably gonna find some place to eat. And
I'm sure, to be honest, you go to eat most of your meals, I'm sure, are with your wife.
Sure.
So going and doing it, I'm sure it's not as easy as just whipping it out and starting to record the whole thing like that. Because she's there too with you.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing. Like, when I go to eat somewhere interesting with my family, do I just fuck what my family's doing, all their conversations, just to make B-roll for my content? And that's where I kind of like don't know, or should I do that? And I probably should. It's like
you can get your female side having your girl in the videos and you.
all right, or she could work for me. But ultimately, I want to do it myself first, and like get a follower or two, or get some views first, and then maybe I can. There's
What's your name? What was your name?
So it's not. There's not a. What would it be? It is.
What's
That's part of the conversation.
Started ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I got. So it's called No Sabo Habo. Okay. So, there's a lot of, getting on TikTok and Instagram, you see a lot of no sabo content, right? It's like there's a bunch of people who don't know how to speak Spanish, who are Hispanic descent of some sort, right? I'm Mexican, by the way, or culturally, or I guess you would say. But I don't know Spanish, and a lot of funny content has come out of that for some reason, or which way I've seen videos where, like, uh, my in-laws are Spanish speaking first. They both speak English, but they speak Spanish first. And a lot of times when I'm around their family, they speak in Spanish, and I catch some of it, and I don't catch most of it. And then there's a lot of funny back and forth when it comes to that. When I misunderstand, or I say something wrong, and I get some type of I get subconscious about speaking Spanish and understanding it. But I think there's plenty of people who can relate to that. So I don't go by Javi. A lot of people call me Javi. My name's Javier, like you said. And but I think it rings off well. No Sabo Jabo is like a good tagline.
But it also leaves it open ended for like you want to do your reviews, but content in general, like
right. So that's what the page is going to be about, because even when I first made it, and it was probably a year ago, it's been lurking for a minute of just the page on Instagram and TikTok, but it's reviews and funny, whatever the funny is or whatever content. So I just left it open ended. It's going to be mostly about reviews, but hopefully my reviews have some type of entertainment value.
Yeah.
But then for the offshoot video I make with my wife, because even when she sees her couples in it, the couples TikToks, and she's wishing that was her sometimes. You know what I mean? They make a living off of just making videos. That's a goal at some point eventually. But I think just showing our lives, because we don't have kids, but I think we're both funny individuals, and I used to make Snapchats about it, and she posts like, "Hey man, what if this is a viral video that we just made, but only 10 people saw it or 50 people saw it, just because it was on Snapchat." And I'm like, all right, well, yeah, definitely, I would laugh at that, and I would press like and keep moving, kind of a thing. So that's just something that it's just tip my just not because you're an aquatics professional, but I put my little toe into the pool to kind of test the waters.
Dive right into the deep end, my guy.
Right.
Dive right in.
Right. I need my flotation device first. Let me put my safety vest on first, brother. But it definitely, you might be a safety vest for me, right? Bouncing off ideas, kind of thing. Again, this is the first time you even hearing about it, and that's I kind of saved it for that also, because I've seen you all year posting videos and such, but I've been thinking about it for a while. It just hasn't yet, because it has been the time, because I've delved into it. I've tried to make reviews, but it's just not enough. Like I mentioned before, it's enough video footage for me to make my full-on video the way I want it, because I'm not a perfectionist, but I want it to look quality and want to sound quality. So,
not saying I had the following I was hoping I would get. I don't really know what my initial goals were with that first podcast, but we had over 1,000
likes, interactions, and stuff on.
So 1,000 people have watched some of it.
Yeah, at the very least, you know what I mean? And that's just on TikTok. Like I have Instagram, I have YouTube. So I have all the social medias. Nothing is officially taken off, but there's people are watching, people are liking, people are interacting. And I like that's the goal I had.
I listened to it on iTunes podcast,
Apple
podcast.
Yeah.
That's
That one, Spotify, and YouTube podcasts.
right. I listen to all three of them. I don't have anybody on YouTube, but I listen to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So that's a good thing. The more content on each platform, the better.
Because everyone has their own.
What's frustrating to me, I have other comedians that just post on YouTube, but I can't watch YouTube while I'm driving. You understand?
You can listen to it now.
You can listen to it though. But if you have YouTube Premium,
No, now it's just regular. I thought.
no, you can't turn off your phone or
I
something.
thought you could. You can just listen. You can't watch, but you can listen.
Oh,
Audio still play.
why am I playing YouTube music for?
Maybe I did a free trial premium or something.
I don't think so. I think that's part of their bread and butter. It's the only reason I have a YouTube Premium or YouTube Music.
I mean, for one phone, they made a thing where you could have two screens up, like at once, like half a screen, half a screen. And people started doing that with YouTube. They keep YouTube up here, and then they do everything else in their pocket. Like it's the black.
But yeah, no, again, I know it went from how we met each other to our careers to content creation. But yes, that is cool.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So, like I said, I appreciate you coming on.
We know the 10 minutes on it.
Another 10. I know after I said that the first time, but like I said, I'm gonna follow up. So
Also, follow me at No Sabo Habo
no sabo hobble.
on Instagram, TikTok, and watch my reviews and like them. If you're in Canada, especially since you're Canadian famous, shout out. Appreciate you. Hey, that guy, what's his name? I'm sorry, the guy that did the first. Well, he sounds like a cool guy. I hope I'll meet you one day. Awesome, cool guy. It sounds like big ups to you, Canadian. Toronto.
Hey,
Toronto, fam.
that's yeah. Sometimes it slips out, but not very often.
He said Toronto.
All right, brother.
Yeah, thank you.